Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. When the hell you're listening to this? You're listening to Nerds Talking Sports, the sports spot with Dad Pods. This is your host, Jack Knight, alongside your other host, Tommy Joe, Z. Zach Daniels. How are you doing tonight, gentlemen? Zach got out of his chair. Oh, there he is.
Man, I got worried. I thought I was going to have to say it again.
All right. I wanted to see how that would come out. Actually, probably look funny.
Wouldn't it funny if the green screen fell down?
It might do that again. Dude, I can't get this. I can't get like the right setup because like I don't know if the camera's too good or it's not big enough or something. Like it doesn't cover enough where the camera has to be and behind my
This
chair.
is the best it's been right now. Like looking at it the way I have it set up, this is the best.
If I move my chair back 5 inches, I'm knocking that thing down.
Well, don't do that, please.
Well,
yeah,
you
that's
never
probably
know.
not a good idea.
No, wait a minute. I have to hide something.
Jeez. But yeah, we're back after a week break because Tom, you went to Pocono this past weekend. How was that?
I did. Pocono was good. It was wet. It was windy. It was sunny. It was cloudy, and it was also hot and cold. I was freezing Monday morning when we were packing up. It dropped to like the 40s overnight.
Wow.
But yeah, to give a quick recap, Thursday night we get there. Good time hanging out over at the infield block party, and they end up calling the show early, so because of impending storm. So we all go back to camp, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I got a couple minutes to make dinner before the storm rolls in. I go from frying burgers on the Blackstone to boiling burgers and water on the Blackstone. Meanwhile, everyone else is trying to hold the tent down, the canopy tent we have up. Fuck. Saturday was good. Friday was good. No rain Friday, no rain Saturday. However, Sunday we got rain. After the race, NASCAR moved the race up 2 hours thanks to Prime being flexible enough to do that because they can show the race whenever they want. And then it was like a tornado almost, which killed the night pretty quick. So, yeah, but it was a good time. Of course, I went to a race. That means Denny Hamlin won.
Is it like always Denny Hamlin or Joey Logano?
At Pocono,
no. I've never seen Joey win. Don't put that on me.
Oh, okay.
Don't put that on me, Zach. Lately, it's just been a Toyota driver. Like,
okay.
I'm trying to go back. The last time that I witnessed a non-Toyota driver win had to be the first doubleheader at Pocono in 21.
Wow.
When Alex Bowman won. And then right after that was Kyle Busch.
And it's not even the Hendrick guy you want.
No. I mean, I did see Justin Allgaier win on Saturday, so that was pretty cool.
Nice. Allgaier is really good in that O'Reilly series.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he ever going to make it to the Cup or
no? He's staying. He was thinking about retiring this year, but his wife was trying to talk him out of it. So.
Oh, I have no idea how old he is, honestly.
I did do what I did last year. I left the race early because I saw Denny was leading. I'm like, all right. So I headed over to Prime even earlier than last year, Jack. I went back to the campsite. I got our chairs. Jill and I camped out at the Prime booth until they started, and I was right up front this time, dead center. People were blowing up my phone saying, "Are you at the race? Is that you on TV?" People I haven't talked to in years. So it was good. I saw Dale again. He signed my Dale Senior fanny pack. Jill got her hat signed by Dale Jr. Got my backpack cooler signed by a couple of them. Corey, Steve Letarte, Chase Briscoe was there. He signed it. But yeah, it was a good weekend. Good weekend. As
nice.
You can't tell, my voice is still kind of shot.
Yeah. So I have a question. Are you officially buying into the what was it called? NASCAR conspiracy now? I mean, like Reddick winning a bunch. Now Denny's winning a bunch. Like, what's going on, man?
Denny winning a bunch doesn't surprise me.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
Reddick winning that much does, but like, I don't know. I mean,
Reddick's finally cooled off a little bit, even though he's still running pretty well. But it's the fact that he's not winning 5 of 7 races. And dude, Denny's just Denny. And I mean, I don't know. Like,
I think
I have nothing else to say.
I think the most impressive thing is that Denny's caught Reddick.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Everybody thought that Tyler Reddick was just going to coast into first place.
Well, that's a ridiculous thought that early in the season, but like Denny,
he had such a big lead.
He did, I understand, but also like Denny, and that's the thing about these last 3 weeks too, because I've been kind of in and out a lot. I'm just getting ready for this baby, which by the way is happening in 2 weeks from today, or earlier or later. So always on edge, and so I've been like just running around doing chores a lot of these Sundays, and but every time I tune in, it's like, all right, Denny's got the lead. Someone else has the lead. Oh, okay. And then Denny's got the lead. Oh, someone else got the lead. Denny's got the lead. It's like, oh, okay. Now, like what happened to Christopher Bell? Like he had the lead until the last 10 laps.
He was. They were playing fuel strategy. He had to go too slow to save fuel, and it just wasn't long enough.
Yeah, that sucks. Well, because I saw him go down, and I'm like, well, that's it.
This is also Denny's third consecutive win from starting on the pole.
Which is ridiculous.
Although at Nashville, he got sent back to the back. And he got sent back to the back in last week. But
what
do you got?
What are you doing?
I've leftover beers that I don't want, but I gotta drink them.
Oh Jesus!
Oh man, that's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These poor sons of bitches. Well, I was trying to take a break from beer, and that didn't work out too well. But I am eating healthier, so that's
good.
And
I drank plenty enough this weekend for you, Zach.
Yeah, for real. And I did. I actually wasn't gonna do anything, and then like after all the shit that I did from Saturday to Sunday, I was like, I just want a couple tall boys, and then they were like, you need to pay $10 with a card because I didn't have any cash on me. I was like, God fucking damn it! I guess I'll get a 12-pack.
Anyway, Jack, how are you?
I'm good. I am going to the parade on Thursday, gentlemen. The New York Knickerbockers, for the first time in 53 years, are NBA champions. Becky Hammond, put some respect on Jalen Brunson's name. Elmo, screw you too. Zach, not Zach, Tom, do you know the story behind that?
Yes, I know, because he said, I hope both teams have a good time.
Yeah, well,
and no, pick a city.
Yeah, Cookie Monster gets it. Elmo doesn't, apparently. But yeah, I think Jalen Brunson was the first Knick ever to get more than 40 points in an NBA Finals game. He got Finals MVP. And get a load of this. In 1994, the New York Rangers broke a 54-year cup drought on June 14th of that year. This year, the New York Knicks broke a 53-year NBA championship drought on June 13th of this year. The New York Knicks coach of the 70s, when they won those first two championships, was Red Holzman. And he has his number retired up in the rafters with the total amount of wins he has in his career. Want to know what number that is?
69.
Good guess, but you're close, but you're wrong. 613. The date that the Knicks would win. And ironically enough, that banner was positioned next to the World Championship banner. So the previous World Championship banner. So it's a bit of an odd foreshadowing there. But anyway.
Well, as our friend Dave, a fellow New York fan, Jets and Knicks fan, sadly a Mets fan though, Jack, sorry.
And a Rangers fan.
Yep. He pointed out that Mark Messier wore number 11. Jalen Brunson wore number 11. Now, remember, the Jets have Bailey Zappi wearing number 11 at quarterback. And if you add up Brady Cook's number 4 and Geno Smith's number 7, that makes up number 11. I'm just saying, if we're believing in numbers.
Danny Hamlin is number 11.
Oh my God.
Psyop.
Honestly, Zach, I look at that Jets quarterback room and I think of like the SpongeBob SquarePants movie when they're like, your life is in our hands. And Mr. Krabs just looks at them and they just have that stupid look on their face. But yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup. My prediction was that the Avalanche would beat them, but the Avalanche didn't even make it. Vegas went on quite a run to go to the Stanley Cup. But the Hurricanes were a team that analytics just fell in love with, and it finally came through after all these years. Rod DeBod Brindamore joins Elite Company, becoming one of the few coach players in history to win to win the championship as a player and as a coach for that current team. Other people include Joe Girardi, won the World Series with the Yankees as a player and coach. There's a few more up there, but I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, good for them. And get a load of this. John Tortorella, who the Knights hired at the end of the season, cost them a second-round pick this year after the whole media thing. That's kind of what led into the punishments episode. He's not returning to be the coach next year. So I was hoping that the Golden Knights would win because it would break this trend that since the expansion era, only one NHL coach has won with the Stanley Cup with multiple teams, that being Scotty Bowman, winning it with the Canadiens, Penguins, and Red Wings. If the Knights won, Tortorella, this would have been the second team Tortorella won because he won in 2004 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. I want that trend to break because Mike Sullivan is the Rangers coach, and he won with the Penguins in 2016-17. So I guess if the Rangers are to win, it would have to be Sully to break that trend. But anyway, we got a topic for tonight's episode. But before we do that, let's shout out our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Recoil Garage, your local diesel fleet and performance specialist right here in Howell, New Jersey. Recoil Garage handles everything from everyday repairs to high-performance builds. With over 15 years of mechanic experience, they've got the skills to keep you moving. Recoil Garage delivers quality you can trust. They provide comprehensive vehicle services such as motorcycle and power sports service, automotive repair, performance upgrades and custom builds, diesel diagnostics and repair, marine and boat repair work, and fleet maintenance programs. Whether it's your weekend toy or daily driver, they treat every vehicle like their own. And Recoil Garage has merch too. You can buy t-shirts, hoodies, and sticker packs straight from the online store. Visit recoilgarage.com. That's recoilgarage.com to book your service today. All right.
Nice. Garage beer.
Pretty
Garage
good.
beer. James of Recoil Garage is a fan of Garage Beer. He did introduce it to me. I'm like, this is pretty good.
I thought you were going to say he's a fan of beer. I thought you were going to say he's a big fan of beer.
Well, I'm a big fan of beer flavor beer, so they got me.
But yeah, to stay somewhat on topic, Zach, I'm going to let you take the reins in a second. But because the Knicks won their first championship since 1973, we are going to be discussing droughts in sports. Zach, you have some listed down for us in particular. Like what kind of droughts in particular are we going to look at this episode?
Well, we're going to look at the big four leagues in, I guess it's North America, but really it's the United States of America because everyone else in North America can suck it. So, World Cup is going on, by the way. Europeans are loving, every foreigner is loving America.
You hate to see that.
It's almost like everyone's fed propaganda. Like it's a psyop.
It's a psyop. It's a psyop. All right. So in honor of Jack going to his first Pride Parade this June,
that's nice. We're gonna say.
We're gonna go into all the biggest droughts currently in the four big leagues. We got NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB. Forget what order I'm going in, but we're just going to go ahead and talk about it, and we're going to review this. Before we go into those, though, actually, you know what? I'm going to bring up one that I know Tom knows. It's probably the most iconic drought is in NASCAR.
Yes.
Michael Waltrip.
Yes.
He reportedly did not win a race in his first 462 tries in the NASCAR series. Spanning roughly 16 years, he broke his winless streak. After 1985 to 2001, he broke his winless streak on the first race of the year in 2001 at the Daytona 500.
Yeah, one problem.
The same Daytona 500 where Dale Earnhardt Jr. stole the show in the final lap.
No.
To put it lightly.
No. Earnhardt Sr.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Junior was. Sorry,
I just saw him Sunday.
Second. Yeah.
You just saw him Sunday.
So like,
yeah, Dale.
It was what you say was 461. No, sorry, 462.
63, depending on who you look at. But I got 62 as a common number.
I can't think of another drought being so long because, I don't know how any other professional athlete could have a drought that long. But
and still have a job.
Yeah, I still have a job. And not only that, I believe that was his first race with DEI as well.
Yes,
It was.
It was his first race. And like, if you ever watch Earnhardt or Blink of an Eye, which is the story through Blink of an Eye is the Daytona 500 from Mikey's perspective. But he said like they were planning big things for that year with DEI. It was going to be, four of them, Steve Park, Dale Jr., Michael Waltrip, and Dale Sr. But yeah, I mean, imagine like not only imagine winning your first NFL game in the Super Bowl. Like,
yeah.
And then you find out that like the person that put you there,
your coach died.
Your coach died. Like you're mid celebration and you find out your coach died.
Yeah,
like it's insane.
It was such a wild. I remember when I heard about that, I did not understand the gravity of it. But this is just one of those things where really major events in human history happen, and you just look at all the details surrounding it. I feel like you could probably do this for most things, but like that one is just so crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, and Kyle Busch is close enough where, you could look at it and say he literally won a race 5 days prior to passing. Like,
and not only in that Prost race, he says you gotta. I'm gonna butcher the exact quote, but it's like you have to celebrate him because you never know when it's your last one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And stuff like that. It sound in the moment when we hear this stuff, we really take it for granted because it's just a lot of the same jargon athletes use. And then shit like that happens and you look at that clip and you go, oh, what the fuck, man? So with that one out of the way, because there's so many droughts in NASCAR, some guys never win. All right. So our first major drought, and of course we're talking championship droughts here tonight. Because we could talk playoff droughts, but here's the thing. We're talking about NBA after the Knicks just destroyed, finished their drought. The Sacramento Kings are still the longest playoff drought in NBA history. They hold that record at 16 seasons from 2007 to 2022. As for the longest active championship drought, it's also the Sacramento Kings. They have gone... You thought 53 years was long or 52, whatever the Knicks was. 75 seasons without a title. Their last championship came in 1951, and they were the Rochester Royals. And guess who they beat in a 7-game series in the NBA Finals?
The Knicks?
The New York Knicks.
Yes, sir. They beat the Knicks in 7 games in the NBA Finals.
You want to know how I know that already, Zach?
Because they're probably talking about it?
No, my great uncle was on that Rochester Royals team.
Get the fuck out of here. You're a liar. What's his name?
Not lying. Frank Pepsol. He has his number retired at Seton Hall.
All right. Frank Pepto-Bismol. All right. No, you gotta find that.
He won the championship there, and I think he won 3 with the Lakers when they were the Minneapolis Lakers.
Wow. That's some cool shit right there. So here, we'll also go over what we're going to do is we're also going to go over the most recent season and who they're contending with and their odds of winning in the near future. So the most recent season, the Kings just wrapped up a 22-60 record, their worst record since 2008 and 2009, near the beginning of this drought that they had the longest playoff drought in history. They finished 14th in the West and missed the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. Mid-season coaching change. Last year, Mike Brown was fired. And then immediately goes to the Knicks and finds success. And Doug Christie took over. They are currently just in disarray. So what are they contending with and what are the odds? Right now, I'd say the odds are kind of low because the front office is openly talking about rebuilding, moving on from all-star players like DeMar DeRozan, trying to trade Domantas Sabonis, and leaning on a top 20 on the 2026 draft to potentially get them back into competing shape again. So
that sounds like an overhaul, like a complete just gut everything and start over, not just a rebuild.
Yeah, and Zach, there's 4 NBA teams in California, if I'm not mistaken. Who's the bigger redheaded stepchild there? The Kings or the Los Angeles Clippers?
Dude, I feel like it has to be the Kings because they're just a punching bag. Like the I don't know. The Clippers also kind of just toil around in mediocrity, and they don't have a championship either. I think
that, and they play in the shadow of the Lakers, so it's
I feel like I hear about the Clippers, but when I hear the Kings, the first thing I think of is the hockey team,
the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah, which is funny because it's also a California team. So, it's funny, but a lot of people there, I'm sure, don't want Kings. So, but I'm sure Kings fans want the Kings to win. But I don't know. I've always grown up thinking the Kings were just absolute trash. They've had pockets of success. I remember they had DeMarcus Cousins at one point. DeMarcus Cousins at one point was very good. Boogie was very good in his prime. But he bounced around, and the Kings have just been meh ever since. And the past couple of years, I guess they are just in the gutter. So, I don't think we have to worry about that one changing anytime soon or anytime in the foreseeable future. It looks like it's going to be a multi-year project to even get back to competing. Now, we're going to go to NFL. The NFL. The longest active championship drought in major North American sports.
Not the Titans, is it?
No.
You mean playoff drought? You mean playoff drought?
No. The longest active championship drought in North American sports. Can you guess the team?
Because
it can't be the Jets. It's not the Jets.
It can't be. It's not an expansion team, right? Like Titans, Jaguars. Okay.
Nope.
I think it's between the Browns, the Vikings, or the Lions.
Well, the Browns are newer.
Right? Well, this version of the Cleveland Browns, but remember, the Ravens were the Browns at one point.
Well, the Ravens have won, right?
Yes, the Ravens won twice.
The Browns have been around since the 40s. They actually dominated. I think they dominated a decade at one point. Like literally, they were in the championship for 10 straight years.
My guess is no. The Vikings won an NFL championship.
It wouldn't be the Texans, right? Because it's the same time.
No, that's
Titans.
They only started in 2002. You guys have to give me one answer in the next 5, 4.
The Detroit Lions.
2.
The Cardinals.
Bing, 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 bing.
Oh, there it is. How did I not think that? Damn.
Because, Jack, nobody thinks about the Cardinals. Because
that's
you
right.
Not even Kyler Murray.
The Lions. You think about the Lions because they're historically bad. And they seem very unlucky, and they have the 0-16 season in 2008. Then you think about the Browns. Now, their futility came because they kind of left the NFL, and then they came back, and then they're an expansion team. And since they came back, they have been an absolute dumpster fire. Before they left, Tom, the Browns actually had a pretty extensive history. They were playoff team in the 80s. They were very good. They just had the game against John Elway, and just a disaster for them. But Bill Belichick was their coach. Couldn't have been that bad, right? So, they have the longest active championship drought in major North American sports, dating back to their 1947 NFL title when they were the Chicago Cardinals. That's their only Super Bowl appearance came in 2008 in that absolute classic. Probably my favorite Super Bowl to watch that didn't involve the Eagles, between the Steelers and the Cardinals, led by old man Kurt Warner, and Larry Legend, and a freak of nature, having the best playoff run ever by a wide receiver. Like, no one's going to top that. You'd be hard-pressed to find a wide receiver to top that. He basically carried the Cardinals along with Kurt Warner.
He really did.
Wait, Zach, you said this is the longest current drought, right?
Current drought. Championship drought in North American sports.
Current drought. So, okay. All right.
So that's worse than the Cleveland Indians Guardians.
Yeah. I just don't want to I don't want to say anything that we haven't said yet. That's
Yeah, well, Jack's just jumping the gun and moving into another fucking sport. So
I'm trying to
The most recent season, the Cardinals went 3-14 in 2025.
Really?
Franchise record for losses. Missed the playoffs for the 4th straight year. They started 2-0, and then they just fell into a fucking abyss.
They had Jacoby Brissett. They should have been set.
They had Kyler Murray. They should have been set. They fired their coach as well. Who are they contending with, and what are the odds? Well, because I know more about NFL, I can easily talk about this one. It's extremely low. Considering the NFC Championship this past year involved the Rams and the Seahawks, their two division rivals. Oh, and by the way, the Rams had to get to the NFC Championship through the other division rival, the 49ers. So,
very teams,
bad. 3 teams with double-digit wins versus the 3-14 team. I don't know, man. Unless like the scales just completely flip in the next year and injuries are involved, because also the Rams just got Myles Garrett, the best player in the league, hands down, just set the sack record. They're actually in tank mode. They're in tank mode.
It's the meme. Stop. He's already dead.
And GTA 6 is coming out this September, this fall. Kyle Murray is going to get injured. He's not going to play.
Tom, you're forgetting one big key piece. Kyler Murray is in Minnesota.
He is?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
He got traded to Minnesota.
Who replaced Murray then? Or they have not? Did they
Jacoby Brissett. They drafted Carson Beck out of Miami. I actually think what they should do is let Jacoby Brissett be the fall guy for about 2 months. Go 2-6, 1-8, 0-8, something. They're not going to win 5 games in the first 8.
I mean, Jacoby's not. I mean, he looked pretty good with.
They're not going to do anything.
I mean, I'll say this: Brissett looked better on the Cardinals than he did with the Colts.
Yes, he did. They're going to do very poorly, but also they did draft Jeremiah Love. Don't know why. They should not have done that. They should have gotten offensive line help or defensive line help. They have voids at so many positions. There's not just championship odds. Like, it's near zero. It's near zero this year. They're probably last on the odds on like sports books. This is a long-term rebuild, just like the Kings. There's just new coach, no quarterback unless Carson Beck steps in and wows everyone. But if you're putting him in there, their offensive line is terrible. He might just die. So good luck with that.
But hey, at least their field can go outside.
Yeah. That's congratulations, Arizona. Good job.
Yeah. I mean, Arizona Cardinals are very similar to. Listen, I look at the Arizona Cardinals and I go, "Oh yeah, Phoenix has an NFL team." That's the same way I look at the Colorado Rockies and go, "Oh yeah, Denver has a baseball team."
Right.
Reese in 2001, Jack? Oh no, that was the Diamondbacks. Never mind.
Well, let's not get to baseball yet. That's my bread and butter. I've saved that for last. What we're gonna do is get into Jack's bread and butter, the NHL. Now, I've broken this down into basically 2. The longest playoff drought in NHL history is by the Buffalo Sabres, which was 14 seasons going from 2011 to this year. They did it. They recently snapped the longest playoff drought in NHL history. They won games. Didn't they win their first series, Jack?
Yes, they beat the Bruins. They lost in 7 games to the Habs, but you know what? They put themselves on the map. I don't think they were expecting Cup this year, but listen, they're going to be battling the Habs for a while, I think, because the Habs are another young team that's kind of had to like build themselves up from scratch. Obviously, not as long as a playoff drought, but still a team that's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, along with that, we're going to go to the longest active championship drought in the NHL, and it's the biggest meme of them all. You know it, Jack. Who is the longest active championship drought in the NHL?
The Toronto Maple Leafs. They haven't won since 1967, and in 1967, that was the last year there were only 6 teams in the NHL. So they haven't won since the original 6 era, and they're going through what urinating tree calls. I don't know if it's just urinating tree or just Toronto fans call it the curse of Ballard, named after their infamous owner Howard Ballard, who made a lot of, for lack of a better term, questionable decisions when he was alive, and his son was cut out of his inheritance and basically said, "My dad's going to be running the team till it from the grave," basically. But yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't won since 1967. And they haven't even been to the Cup since 67. The closest they came was in 1993. They were up 3-2 on the Los Angeles Kings in what was the Clarence Campbell Conference, now the Western Conference. Yes.
Jesus Christ. What a weird name.
Yeah, well, the next year was when they would begin to call it the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, because the Eastern Conference was called the Prince of Wales Conference. But yeah, the game was tied, if not mistaken. And Wayne Gretzky high sticks one of the Toronto Maple Leaf players. It did not get called. Wayne Gretzky would score in overtime to force Game 7. Game 7's in Toronto, but they lose. That was the closest they came. They made another conference finals appearance, I think, in maybe 2002 or 2003, maybe both, because I remember they did meet the Devils and the Hurricanes, and perhaps both of them, and the Hurricanes went in 2002 but lost to the Red Wings, and the Devils beat the Mighty Ducks in 2003. And then they went through a very long playoff drought. They ended up trading Tuukka Rask Tuukka Rask would become a great goalie for the Boston Bruins. I'm brain cramping on who the Leafs traded for in that trade. Hold on, let me look that up real quick. In exchange for Andrew Raycroft. Andrew Raycroft clearly was not the player he was when he won the Calder with the Bruins. And Tuukka would go on to haunt the Leafs for trading him because he won a Stanley Cup in 2011 with the Bruins, even though he wasn't the starter. And let's just talk about the freaking playoff matchups they had against the Bruins since 2013. Yes, 2013. 2013, Game 7 in Boston. They were up by 3 goals.
I remember this.
Period. Yes. And, then the Bruins scored twice without the goalie in net. Patrice Bergeron tied it, then won it in overtime. Then they had a chance again in, I think, 2018. Again, lost in Game 7 in Boston. Then 2019 I think it was 2019. Lost in Game 7 in Boston. Then 2024. Again, this is all first round, Tom. Lost Game 7 in Boston. So anytime it's a first round matchup against the Bruins, Leafs fans are just like, stop it. Yeah. And here's
perfect.
And to make matters worse, another example, another thing that seems to happen with the Leafs is, they get rid of a player and then they immediately win championship. Like I think in the 90s, it was Larry Murphy. I think he won with either the Red Wings or the Penguins, one or the other. And 2015, 16 or so, Phil Kessel was one of their star players. They got him. They signed him as a restricted free agent from the Bruins. He leaves, goes to the Penguins, wins back-to-back Stanley Cups. Another example happening right now. They lost, but Mitch Marner, they basically ran him out of town, and he basically became a force with the Vegas Golden Knights. And now they just fired their coach. They fired their coach, Craig Berube, and they brought in a new GM who was GM of the then Arizona Coyotes. I'm brain cramping on his name, but basically this dude got suspended at one point. Maple Leafs general manager. What's his name again? John Chayka, Chayka. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, his introductory press conference was a disaster. And now, 2 things. The first thing is, now they have the first overall pick. So they're likely going to take Gavin McKenna in this year's draft. And that is a terrible market for a kid to start in, especially like a team that's like as big as a market as big as Toronto and where fans are so frustrated like in Toronto. Having McKenna will definitely help, but what also isn't going to help is that apparently Austin Matthews wants out. Their first overall pick from the 2016 NHL draft. He burst onto the scene, but They haven't been able to succeed with him, and he's tired of all the drama, all the uncertainty. He's going to find his way out of there somehow. But yes, Toronto Maple Leafs currently have the longest Stanley Cup drought in NHL history. They surpassed, I think it was 2020, they surpassed the previous drought, which did belong to the New York Rangers. The Rangers had a drought from 1940 to 1994. But yes, it is Toronto Maple Leafs, Zach. Sorry, I kind of like took control there.
Yes, because I wasn't going to talk about the Maple Leafs. But you did a great job. You did a fantastic job. What I ended up wanting to talk about was actually the Sabres. Because after the past 2 leagues...
Sorry.
No. Honestly, Jack did all the work that I had looked at and said, you know what? I have 2 leagues with really bad stories, and then the Leafs is just kind of a meme. So let's talk about the team with 0 Stanley Cups. But Jack, honestly, phenomenal fucking cover.
No, that was good.
It was. I'm glad I gave Tom a laugh.
Listen, you need to watch Urinating Trees video on the Toronto Maple Leafs from 2020, I think it was. It's like almost an hour long, but it's worth a watch.
I think I've watched it.
Howard Ballard was a crazy freaking dude, and a legitimately terrible guy. Like, he lived in the arena at one point.
All right. So, thank you for the Leafs coverage. Let's go over a positive story, because the Leafs are just in purgatory. The Sabres just snapped their playoff drought. That's cool. It was the feel-good story of the year, from what I'm gathered, is the Buffalo Sabres went 50-23-9. They won the Atlantic Division. They made a stunning playoff run. And they beat the Boston Bruins in round 1 and lost a heartbreaker in game 7 to Montreal. So, and by the way, I found out they had a midseason GM change, and they went 32-6-2 in their final 40 games. I thought the Flyers were hot. Maybe the Sabres were hotter, and I wasn't paying attention enough. That's incredible. So what are they contending with, and what are their odds? Well, guess what? I think we can agree, Jack, they're trending upwards. Yes, after an impressive run in the playoffs. I know that the East is apparently loaded. We got Carolina just won the damn thing. Tampa Bay is always good. Colorado, they're all rated ahead of them for the Cup. I know, is Colorado the West, though, right?
Yeah, I think
right.
They were my pick to win this year, but I guess after playing Minnesota, they just ran out of gas.
So the verdict on this one is, now that the playoff drought is over, the championship odds are there. We're fucking there. We're there, and you know, the Leafs title drought rolls on with no resolution in sight, from what I'm understanding, and from the memes and the urinating tree video that Jack just mentioned. Shout out you, Tree. You are awesome. Yeah, they're just kind of a meme, it seems, while the Sabres were a meme because they were bad at one point. We've talked about it when we were still funds, Jack. And now, in a short couple of years, it looks like everything's finally coming together. So let's see. Maybe something good happens. I know you're a Rangers fan, obviously, but I guess it means that if you're facing the Sabres in the playoffs, there's a good chance that you might actually have to be like, worried a little, rather than like, oh, it's just a Sabres, no big deal, or it's just a Leafs, no big deal. Now It looks like they're actually showing some serious contendership.
Yeah, they got you plenty of young talent: Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, Zach Benson. My one doubt for them is in coaching. Lindy Ruff, he is like a veteran coach. I feel, again, you know, he was their coach the first time. He was their coach when they went to the Stanley Cup in 1999. Then he got fired. Now he found his way back there. I don't know if he's necessarily the guy for them, but yes, there could be a team that the Rangers could potentially have to go through when the Rangers become competitive again. I just hope that some players, you know, some potential free agents, you know, or guys who want trades, you know, the Austin Matthews, the Dylan Larkins, the Jason Robertsons, or Connor McDavid. If I'm really wishful, I hope they see like how crazy the city went for the Knicks winning and be like, yeah, I want to be here for the Rangers. But the Ranger fans aren't going to go as apeshit as Knicks fans did. But yeah, I don't think anyone ever will. Now we go to our final one, MLB,
Kings.
My bread and butter, the Kings. My bread and butter, the MLB. And yes, Jack has already mentioned, by 1 year, the Cardinals topped them in 1947. The longest active championship drought in MLB is now the 1948 Cleveland Indians, not Guardians, but the Cleveland Guardians are currently the longest MLB drought for World Series. Well, they had gut punches in 1995, 97, and the worst of all was 2016, where they lost to the Cubs, who had previously owned the longest drought. So basically, it was
That was what,
the
over
longest
100
drought
years for the Cubs.
Well, that's where
108 years for the Cubs.
And that's the thing about the Indians / Guardians issue here is if they won in 2016, Cleveland would have been ecstatic, and I'm sure we all would have felt good about it.
Yeah.
But the 100-year drought ended, and that was cathartic. So they are in hell. Because the other thing is, here's their most recent season. They made the 2025 playoffs, their 7th trip in the past decade, after an incredible late season surge and an incredible late season fall off for the Tigers, because the Tigers all of a sudden 2025 with Tarek Skubal, who won the 2024 Cy Young and the 2025 Cy Young, they were dominant all 2025, and then some point in August / September, it just flipped. And the Guardians ended up winning the division on the final weekend. Then they lost the wild card series to the Detroit Tigers. But what are they contending with, and what are their odds? They are always, for some reason, somehow, in the thick of it. It's like mixed a decent result, like odds and division depending. I mean, even this year, this is like the 5th straight year of the AL Central being an absolute mixed bag. The White Sox. Remember the White Sox who won like 40 games, 50 games tops in 2023?
Weren't we talking about that? The White Sox like being so bad?
They were so bad. So were the Rockies. We had a stretch of like 3 straight years where we thought the A's were going to be the worst team of all time. Then the White Sox were actually the worst team of all time. Then the Rockies were like the worst team of all time. Well, the White Sox actually fixed it. They got Murakami. He was hitting bombs before he got hurt. And then I saw them play the Phillies. They were fun to watch. So, but the Guardians are right there with them. They're even they're tied for first in the AL Central at 39 and 33. They're just a scrappy team, a cheap one, and I don't mean that, with the Dodgers spending all their money, the Guardians are still performing very well, and they do not have the biggest payroll of all the teams. The Tigers are probably still favored. Maybe they were leading into the year, and the Royals could be a sleeper, but they've been kind of been asleep at the wheel for a couple of years now. It just feels like, unless the White Sox somehow turn it on and blow us all away, I would give them the odds of winning the division, the Guardians. Will they win the World Series? I don't know, because the American League is kind of shit outside of like the Rays, the Yankees. I can't even name who's good in the West. I guess the Mariners are okay. Everyone in the West is like hovering around 500, and then there's the Astros and Angels who are well below it. So, I mean, I guess maybe, but I don't know. They kind of need to show me that they can really step up and be a good team, especially if they're going to beat a team like the Dodgers or the Phillies. Like I even just the Phillies. I watched the Phillies beat them in a series, or no, they lost to them in a series, but it was close. It was a very close series. Yeah. So I mean, either of you guys have thoughts on the Guardians at all, or am I the one that's like really? I'm always locked in on every team. Wait, Tom. Tom, go.
So because I
let Jack had a 10-minute run, and I really appreciate it on the Leafs. I just wanted to talk about the Sabres.
I've been a bit removed from baseball lately. Call me whatever you want, Zach. I mean, I like baseball, but I just NASCAR's my thing right now. It's kind of hard for me to really juggle multiple sports. So I don't really have much to say. So Jack, you take the floor. I just wanted to put that in before I say that at the end. There you go.
Yeah, guys, that 2016 World Series, as far in that game, I will maintain to the day I die, unless something overtakes it. That was still the greatest World Series and greatest game World Series Game 7 of all time. Great, that was the greatest baseball game of all time because of the stakes of the two teams with the longest droughts facing each other in the World Series, and just Game 7 was a freaking barn burner. That was the greatest game ever. Unfortunately, only one of them could end their drought that night, and it was the Chicago Cubs in that scenario. And
I don't blame you for thinking that at all. I gotta say, I can agree with that. I can put that at 1A because I watched all, and I mean literally every pitch. I was locked in for Game 7 of last year's World Series between the Blue Jays and Dodgers. The only thing you can say about that Guardians, Indians, Cubs game is the stakes, is the droughts. Because I think as a baseball game in general, the Dodgers and Blue Jays one was every play was heart-stopping. Now the Indians, and I keep saying Guardians, I'm just going to call them the fucking Indians. The Indians and Cubs was also very fun, but I don't think the plays came to as crazy like stand up off your. I have no stake in either of the Blue Jays or Dodgers, and obviously I want the Blue Jays to win, but like it just felt more exciting. But at the same time, it's not the same stakes as the Indians and Cubs had in 2016. So it's a very 1A 1B for me. It's a 1A 1B for me because you want to talk about the best game period. It was Dodgers Blue Jays, but if you want to talk about the aura and the feeling around the Cubs and Indians, it was insane. It was just absolutely insane.
Absolutely.
So I think that is all. Is there any playoff drought that we want to talk about, guys, or anything like that, Jack?
Do you want me to shit on the Jets some more? Is that what you want me to do?
Well, that was the longest active playoff drought, and it's going pretty long now.
Even over the Cowboys?
Yeah, longer than the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys are in it only a couple of years ago.
But ironically enough,
I know.
But ironically enough, I think the Jets won a playoff game more recently than the Cowboys. The Jets won a playoff game more recently than the Dolphins. So
Man,
the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since like early 2000s.
The Dolphins probably have the longest winless streak in the playoffs because they have. I actually just watched a video on them as well. They have been just horrendous.
Dookie.
And they're about to be, if it's not the Cardinals at the bottom of the barrel, I think the Dolphins are about to be at the bottom of the barrel.
Speaking of Tua, did they keep Tua?
No,
he's gone.
He's gone, right?
Tua is now an Atlanta Falcon.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I don't think they're going to be good either.
No.
Honestly, not even just because of Tua, but they have Bijan Robinson. And that's my dude.
So I think it's time for questions. So we have a couple questions, and we have an old voicemail that we didn't get to play because it was sent in too late. The last time Zach and I did an episode, which is probably better that we didn't do it because it pertains to Jack. So first question comes from friend of the show, fan of the show, Josh Bloom, who also, happy birthday, Josh.
Happy birthday. We're recording on his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes. Give us your World Cup thoughts.
I mean, I don't care about soccer until I vaguely care about soccer until the World Cup comes around. So that's where I might actually care. And as far as where my ancestry comes from, the team, as far as my ancestry goes, Germany's always good. Netherlands are always good. So is England. I wish Ireland was good, but they're not. But obviously I'm going to be reading. But for me, Team USA takes precedent, especially because it's here in the USA and it's America's 250th birthday. So they're probably not going to win, but I'm rooting for Team USA.
Unless it's a psyop and they do end up winning on their 250th birthday. I gotta say I normally tune in to the later rounds. I think
that's what I do.
Pool play or something. I used to play soccer up until a college, basically. Not college. I'm sorry. I played all of high school, and then I played a little club in college as well, just to keep myself active and moving.
I got to stop looking at the TV.
I'm a big fan of the World Cup later in the rounds. And I know that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, every game ended in a draw, I think I saw. And it was like, and I think Josh was joking with me, actually saying, he's like, this is like a bettor's worst nightmare. It's just like, oh, you wanted to bet on Spain to win, even though Spain should have outright blown out their opponent. They ended up tying.
They don't have scoreless.
They do have spreads.
Spreads. But I went to Beacon on Saturday to watch the Knicks Spurs game. And before I continue on the topic, you guys will watch this. They showed Sydney Sweeney on the TV like when the Knicks game was about to start, and the whole bar cheered. But before that, they were showing Brazil versus Monaco on the TV. I was very surprised that game ended in a tie. Like, isn't Brazil like some type of soccer phenom? Shouldn't they just be?
Yeah, how does Brazil tie a racetrack?
Yeah, right. Really. I remember. I think it was 2014 or 16 when the Germans beat them like 7 or 8-0 in the World Cup final.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really.
Was it Morocco?
Yeah.
Wait, did I say Monaco?
You did.
You did.
Crap.
Got F1 on the brain, Jack. I mean, I don't really follow soccer. I mean, I guess I'll start following as it gets later into. We lost Zach. All right, so we had a little bit of technical difficulties on Zach's end, but yeah, I don't really pay much attention to soccer. I know Joe likes soccer, so we'll probably watch the games when we can. But obviously, going to root for America. You know, we'll probably end up losing because we're not a soccer country. But you know, that's that. This is going to be weird to go back and forth to my different apps with Zach on the phone. There's three questions from Justin. First one is, sorry, this is delayed. Oh, okay, this is for me. Sorry that this is delayed, but what are your thoughts of the close finish from this year's Indy 500? Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now. I think IndyCar is putting on some great racing. IndyCar has been putting on really great racing at the 500. What led to that close finish was for them they threw a red flag at a late caution to get the race to end under green and still be 500 miles. Props to that. NASCAR should listen to that instead of going into overtime all the time. But oh no, close finish is always great. I thought I forgot who won now off the top of my head. But that was an incredible win. Guys, any opinion on that?
How'd that chick do? She was trying to do a double.
Catherine Lake, she ended up wrecking out of the 500. She got collected in a wreck. It wasn't her fault. And then
it was Felix Rosenquist who won the 500.
Yes, Felix Rosenquist. He passed Pillow, right?
I don't know.
Yes, I believe Rosenquist passed. I believe it was Pillow, or maybe not. Maybe I may be remembering. Oh no, it wasn't Pillow. It was Malukas, David Malukas. He passed Malukas at the very end, and it came down to a photo finish. Catherine Legg, she wrecked out of the 500, and she was in a Go Fast Racing car or Live Fast Racing, which is BJ McLeod, a non-chartered car. No chance of winning that race, unfortunately. Not her talent, just the car is not good enough. True or false? With the acquisition of Myles Garrett, it is now definitely Super Bowl or bust for the LA Rams.
Absolutely.
True. 100%.
100% true.
There is no option. They need to win it. They could have won last year. They could have won 2 years ago if Jalen Hurts didn't ball out at the end and the defense stood up Matt Stafford at the end of the game in that snow. Yeah, that team is fucking stacked. They need to win now. Myles Garrett just broke the sack record on a crap team. He's now going to a team with a better defensive line and a better team overall. They may they're scary. They're just fucking scary. So yes, it's Super Bowl or bust for them.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know how much time they have left with Matthew Stafford, but he's in the twilight of his career, and from what I understand, he's still pretty good. They want to try to get at least one more while they have him.
I feel like he's been playing forever, so yeah, I agree. So next question: if Greg Popovich was still in good health and coaching the Spurs, do you think they would have defeated the Knicks in the NBA Finals?
I think at the very least they would have pushed it to some more games. I think what it came down to was the Knicks were a more experienced team. It was their time, whereas the Spurs are very young and have a lot to learn. The Knicks essentially served to the Spurs what the Bad Boy Pistons served to Michael Jordan in the early 90s or late 80s. And, there was a lot of, young kid mistakes from, guys like De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama, very dirty player. Holy crap. But, yeah, I think at the very least, Popovich definitely would have probably forced a Game 7, in my opinion.
So, I don't know. I agree with pretty much everything you said, except for De'Aaron Fox has been in the league for 9 years now. He was on the Sacramento Kings for, it looks like 8 of them, and then he was traded.
Coached by Mike Brown.
Yeah. And then he was traded mid-season.
He made a similar mistake with the Kings that he did in Game 4 during that historic comeback from 29 points down. By the way, when I go Thursday, they better have that statue of OG Anunoby doing that tip like immediately, because that's in the top 3 greatest plays in New York sports history.
Yeah, no, so that was an incredible comeback. I agree with everything that Jack said, because here's the thing. I also am a big Dylan Harper fan because he went to Rutgers. He went 1 year at Rutgers, was amazing, and immediately went to the NBA. And my God, I could not believe how big of a fucking role he played. Victor Wembanyama, yes, it's kind of funny. I really like the player. I really don't like I understand he's still very young, but my God, man, like, you gotta have a little class or something. Like, it's the handshakes, talking shit after, saying we were the better
team.
See you
never.
All right, dude. Like, you lost 4-1. It wasn't like 4-2 or 4-3. Like, you gave up the biggest comeback in NBA history. Calm down. You had an amazing young youth movement. They're going to be a problem for years to come. The Knicks, I had someone say dynasty watch. Dude, I'm sorry. Well, the other thing is this. The NBA of all the leagues has a parity that no one has matched.
I did not see this coming.
8 straight years of a different champion. The Golden Warriors won in 8 years. So 2018, 2019. The seasons go between 2 years, of course. So it's hard for me to remember. Yeah, the Golden State Warriors won in like 3 or 4 years ago, right? And since then we've had different teams for 8 years now. It's insane. The Lakers in 2020, I know. The Celtics,
the Raptors in 2019.
The Raptors in 2019. So the Knicks came out of nowhere. I can't say they're a dynasty. They are an older squad. They're still very good, all in their prime. But you can't tell me that Spurs team with like the youngest possible core you could possibly have, and a veteran De'Aaron Fox, who, yes, he made a boneheaded mistake, but like, he's a very good player. The Oklahoma City Thunder won last year, and they took the Spurs to 7 games, while the Knicks had all the time in the world to also rest up. That really helped them as well. They were just so on fire. They were just well rested and beating everyone in front of them. So
thanks a lot, Danhausen.
Yes, it is. Yes, it was a Knickshausen championship. Very good, very evil, and there's a lot of parity in the NBA. Actually, I have to admit, and it doesn't mean that another team can't come out of nowhere.
So we do have one more question. We have a voicemail.
Let's do it.
From Dan Morley.
Oh shit.
Hey guys, Man Darley here. I'm curious what you think about the whole thing with NIL and the potential of schools shutting down. I don't know if you read it, Jack. I'll send it your way. But I'm hearing stories about like a lot of schools cutting more sports programs and schools shutting down altogether for a number of factors. And the NIL deals.
Oh, I guess I got cut off.
Yeah. I don't know how much of it was affected by NIL, but I know William Patterson was, where my alma mater, where I did my PA announcing, they almost lost the hockey team recently.
Wow.
But tell you what, I'll resend you guys this article. Shall we make this a topic for next week?
Might have to do a little research into it because I'm not fully aware of the situation, but I do know schools like Rutgers and Syracuse, and there's been a couple other Division I schools who are hemorrhaging money to try and bring people in and play for them. And it's tough. It's really tough because here's the other thing. Indiana just won the college football championship. No one would have predicted that. No one could have predicted that. So what it means is with how wide open the Wild West of college football has been, it makes me think like, yeah, if Rutgers was able to pull in some players, all of a sudden they become Indiana. And with the expanded playoff, structure, it's anyone's ball game as long as you get in. Now, instead of the 4-team playoff where it's really just they pick 2 SEC teams, an ACC team, a Big Ten team. If there's an at-large that's really good, they put them in there. And if Notre Dame somehow sucks off the right old dick, they get in. But it's so much more wide open with that playoff structure. And now teams are just getting guys. And I don't know. It's been crazy to keep up with, but can't say it's not fun. It's still fun to watch college football.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that wraps it up for questions and voicemails this week. Remember, every week that we record, every day
of the recording.
Stop. So that wraps it up for questions for this week and voicemails. Remember, every week we record on the day that we record, we will post a story on our socials, and you can leave us a question and have your answer heard on the podcast. Alternatively, on that same story will be a link to our website. Click on the link. Bottom right corner of our website, you'll see a microphone icon. You click on the icon, and you can leave us a voicemail and have your voice heard on the podcast. All right, Jack, I think it's time you wrap this up for us.
All right, I will do that right now. Thank you again to Recoil's Garage for sponsoring this episode. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Nerds Talking Sports and on Twitter and Instagram at N_T_S_podcast. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. This is Jack Knife along with Zach Daniels and Tommy Joe. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Free bird, yeah.